Warning, this podcast contains sarcasm and realism. You've been warned. This is Girls Can Tell with your host, Trent Erickson.
So, I'm living in a hotel right now. On a staycation? Hardly. This is where we've been living while trying to figure out where we'll live next. It's a very nice hotel. Great location. Beautiful lobby. Everything is top shelf, and it even smells lovely. But that doesn't make it a home. A few months ago, Holly and I had a life that made sense. We had routines and familiarity, and things just felt comfortable, almost something that could come close to being classified as boring at times. The couch was her throne, with entire walls of floor-to-ceiling windows she'd spend countless hours looking through while meticulously keeping track of all the city's street action happening many floors below. It was basically her command center. She had a job to keep the city safe from skateboarders and squirrels. If someone came down the street on 4 small wheels or 4 small furry legs, she treated it like a major threat and made sure they knew they weren't welcome there. That was stability for her. That was her world. Then one day, we left. Fast. A major safety issue came up, and there was no time for logic or a plan. It was just instinct. Get out. Now. We tried to go back a few weeks later, and we really gave it a shot. We held our breath and tried to pretend things were okay. But reality doesn't change just because you want it to. And safety is binary. It's either there or it's not. And it wasn't. So we left again, only this time permanently. That's as much oxygen as I'm giving the source of the issue. They've clearly been deprived of too much of it already. So we move forward. You wouldn't think it would be this disorienting to lose your boring. All those tiny things you give little thought to that make up more of your life than you realize. Where your keys go when you walk in the door, which side of the couch you sit on, how the hallways sound when you walk down them at 2 a.m., the exact spots Holly would plant herself so she could see everything that was happening on the latest episode of her favorite dog TV show, or, squirrels. Stable routines that turn into a life, your life. And when that disappears, everything becomes improvisation. Let me tell you about hotel living, because it's not what people think. Hotels are designed for one thing: transience. Everything whispers, "Don't get comfortable." From the art bolted to the wall to the shallow dresser drawers, they all say, "Get in and get out." The closet screams, "You're only here for a week, right?" The light switches feel just unfamiliar enough that you need to relearn which one is for what every night. There's no junk drawer in a hotel. Your junk is just out, scattered on every unfamiliar surface, as a $19 bottle of Evian looks on. Every time I make coffee from that little pod machine, I feel like a guy pretending to be a stable adult, and I wonder if I'm buying it. Holly, she's adapting better than I am. Dogs are professional adapters. She follows me, trusts I know what I'm doing, and she adjusts accordingly every time our entire world changes. But I see the confusion when she goes to the window and instead of a street filled with cars, pedestrians, skateboarders, and squirrels, she only sees the side of another building 20 feet away, and I can see she lost her purpose. She's been forced to stare at a wall. Sometimes she stares at the TV, because it's the only thing she has now. I was finally able to figure out how to play dog TV on it, which is her other favorite thing to do. Thank God, because watching Heathers with me just wasn't doing it for her. Her job used to be outside that window, and her friends were inside that TV. And for some time, both had vanished, just like that. Inside her head, she's probably thinking, if someone's skateboarding out there, I can't see them. Who's going to stop them? That's my job. She shouldn't have to carry that stress. And you can't explain to a dog what happened. They're just left trying to figure out why everything they've ever known is now just gone. Meanwhile, I'm on the air like nothing happened. Broadcast voice, calm, assured, telling Chicago that traffic is, I don't know, slow on the inbound Kennedy or something. Like I didn't pack half my belongings in a panic and sprint for safety a few weeks ago. People hear a guy who has it all figured out. They don't hear me thinking about apartment tours, dog logistics, hotel checkout times, or whether my room will still be available next week. Two realities running simultaneously. On the air, I've got you. Off the air, I'm trying to hang on. The city doesn't know. My students don't know. My listeners don't know. And even some of my friends don't know. Because I don't let them. Because the job doesn't care if your life is on fire. When the mic turns on, you better exude competence, no matter what. There are phases in our lives, but we only recognize them when they're over. The married phase, the just divorced phase, the I'm on the air in a different city phase, the apartment belonged to that era phase. They're always pretty easily labeled in your memory, but never in real time. But I can tell right now we're in a phase that doesn't have a name. This is that uncomfortable part of the story in a movie that gets a 30-second montage set to a Christopher Cross song because nobody wants to sit through this part live in real time. Yeah, I just dropped a Christopher Cross reference. Anyone under 70 needs to go look up who that is. I'll wait. It's the stretch where you feel like you're slipping between two lives and you're not sure what the next one looks like yet. It's like being blindfolded on a roller coaster after eating 2 chili dogs and some questionable cotton candy some weird guy gave you to hold while he tied his shoe and you just ran off with it instead. It's the part where you find out what you're made of and you hate every second of the uncertainty, but you're stuck going through it in real time. Holly watches me like I'm the one who knows what's coming, which is adorable and insulting. Because if I actually knew what I was doing, we wouldn't be using a hotel bathroom sink as our dishwashing station. I'm her whole world, and I never forget that. She believes I've never dropped the ball, made a bad decision, or failed her. She's the reason I can't collapse. Her faith in me is a contract I intend to honor. Her heart doesn't know we're displaced. It just knows we're together, and as far as she's concerned, that means we're home. As long as I'm here, everything's going to be all right. There were many times through all this I sure wished I had someone who made me feel that kind of certainty. I want to live up to that version of me that she sees. Something I've learned through all this is the environment and circumstances didn't change who I am. It's shown me who I already was. I'm a guy who holds the line for one creature that would follow me into a volcano if I told her there were squirrels in there. I'm a guy who does a show even when he's unraveling off air. I'm a guy who refuses to let insane circumstances run his life or change who he fundamentally is, even though it would have been easy to do and no one would have blamed me. A hotel room is a temporary bunker while I straighten this out, because we're in a transition, the kind you feel happening, the kind your stomach recognizes before your brain does. There's a new phase waiting. Nothing about this is stuck. Everything is moving. Even when it doesn't look like it, especially when it doesn't look like it. I've rebuilt my life before, more than once, new cities, new careers, and new identities. This one's different. It feels worse because I'm not doing it alone this time, and I can't screw this up for the one living being who's never doubted me. She deserves a wall of windows with a city beneath them. A couch she knows by heart in a neighborhood she can patrol for squirrels that's her very own. She deserves routine, peace, and purpose. And the only job she should have is barking her head off at someone she thinks is up to no good, but is probably just a teenager on a skateboard who's apparently never heard of an electric scooter. So this part is awful, messy, exhausting, and extremely expensive. But it's not permanent. Because after looking at more than 30 places, I finally found us a new home. And it was worth all the 18-hour days and sacrificing my sleep and sanity for. Soon this'll just be labeled the hotel phase, a chapter we'll joke about when we're sitting at a home that actually feels like ours. Holly curled up on the couch again on her rightful throne, glancing out a window, ready to protect us again from anyone using recreational transportation. And I'll sit beside her, finally feeling settled again, and think we made it back to boring. And thank God, because boring is where living your life happens. Not this. This was a very long hallway. And now I can finally see our door. It's just up ahead.